All right, Shalom. This is GMS New Orleans coming at you with another live lesson. As always, going to give all praises, glory, infinite honors to Yahweh, double honors to the elders apostles of Great Millstone. Again, peace, blessings, and salutations out there to the hopeful elect. All right. We're going to get into the lesson, and I've been stressing this a lot, amongst brothers down here, and around this region, man. In the state of Louisiana, I've been stressing amongst brothers the habit of growing, man, growing in the spirit and willing to grow, right? Because if you're not growing, you're stagnant, okay? If you're not ultimately, hold on, I got a bad buzz, man.
There's an echo.
Yeah, that's Reyes. You got a bad buzz. You might have to turn your phone down, son, just a little bit. But yeah, like I said, I just been basically pushing out, being in the spirit of growing. Because if you're not growing, you're stagnant, okay? And if you're stagnant, you ultimately, man, you're in a lackadaisical spirit to the point where, you've been around. You got some guys that have been around for quite some time, and you're still on a base level. All right, you're not taking the opportunity to use the tools around you to grow. All right, you just and more or less, some guys are just ultimately in the world, man. All right, their mindset is in the world. You're chasing, you're chasing, 2, 3 jobs. You're chasing at home. You're chasing women. You're chasing whatever. And we ain't in those times, man. As you see, the day that befalls on us is the time of the end. All right, the nations of the earth are geared up for war. Things are happening. All right, we're not in that Big Daddy Kane spirit, man. All right, like this brother Amawad made a video years ago. All right, you said something about Jay thinking it's gonna be like you thinking that right now it's time to be like an Uncle Luke video, man, a video shoot, and it's not that. All right, it's time to basically lock in, man. All right, it's a time to actually, in the spirit of things, you should be elevating. All right, and using the tools around you to elevate, to grow. Because, like I say, and I'm stressing this because it was stressed to us, meaning the other men, the other bishops and elders that came around and woke up around my time, it was stressed to us by our apostles, man. All right, of growing. All right, you brothers want to say anything before I kind of get started with the scriptures?
Yeah. Salaki, bro. No, I just wanted to add to you. I got if you I know you have something you want to start with, but if you don't mind, I got one going directly into what you're saying. I want to go into NLT. It's just one, but two quick scriptures. But you got it, number one.
Yeah, I just linebacking what the elder was saying. Jake find out they're Israelites and they just lose their mind with Isaiah 4:1. The purpose of the ministry is not to multiply things to yourself in this world where there's money, women. It's really to fortify your mind and prepare yourself for Jacob's trouble and our Lord coming back. That should be your main focus. But you got it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
We should be like it's saying in John 3, Yahweh Shah should be increasing and we should be decreasing. Because we're gonna have the increase in the substance in heaven. We're gonna have more than we can wish and ask for. So that's why we really in the ministry of putting things off. Technically, once the word is added unto us, we start to subtract things. Really, you should be doing more subtracting than adding. If that's balance wise, right? But this 1 Corinthians 15 for you, y'all can it's 15 and 2. I'm gonna read 2 in the NLT. 15 and 1 and 2. Huh?
No, get it on the screen. Go ahead.
It says, moreover, brethren, I declare
1 Corinthians 15 and 2.
1 and 2, but I'm gonna read 1 Corinthians.
Okay.
15 and 1 and 2. I'm gonna read 2, and I'm gonna read that in the NLT. It says, moreover, brethren, I declare unto you the gospel which I preached unto you, which also ye have received, and wherein ye stand. So as Paul was speaking, hey, look, you received it, and this is where you at with what you received through the Spirit. It says, by which also ye are saved, if ye keep in memory what I preached unto you, unless ye have believed in vain. Let me get this in the NLT. It says, it is the good news that saves you if you continue to believe the message I told you, unless, of course, you believe something that was never true in the first place. You got to go. Whew.
You want to say something?
Yeah. Brother, so what Paul is saying here, that fate is not mixed. The spirit of men that does this, they when they heard the word, it wasn't mixed with faith. As it says, the ministry was preached unto us and to them. But like you said, when certain brothers got it, they took off like a rocket, man. With a rocket booster. But then some men heard it. They, like you said, they got either relaxed or comfortable, which nothing grows in a comfort zone. And then what they believe, it was never true in the first place to them. I mean, in the first place, it wasn't really true to what was going to actually build them up in the spirit rather than break them down. You got it, number one. You want to say something on it?
No, I was just saying it was heavy in the NLTs because a lot of people, they never really believed the truth to begin with. They found out they were Israelites, but they believed in a false doctrine that went along with it instead of the actual doctrine of Yahweh Shai, which is why you see dugouts and fringes, weirdos that believe in other books. They know that they're from the tribe of Judah, but they don't know Yahweh Shai. You got it.
I want to go with kind of what both of y'all saying a little bit more or less. Kaya, it's off the record. This is Proverbs chapter 16, verse 21. It says, "The wise in heart shall be called prudent." All right, and the sweetness of lips, the sweetness of the lips increaseth learning. Understanding is a well of life unto him that has it, but the instructions of fools is folly. All right, the heart of the wise teacheth his lips, and added learning unto his lips. All right, pleasant words are as honeycomb, sweet to the soul, and the health to the bones. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are as the ways of death.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this truth, these scriptures which increases you in your learning, your understanding of Yahweh Shem Shai, and all things also that goes with it. If you're not increasing with that, you're not doing anything, man. All right. And like I said, you've been pulled, you getting tugged and pulled on in every different way. Like the brother say, you have to start to subtract those things from your life. All right. The things that's tugging you, those different vices that you have, if it's taken away from this, man, taken away from you increasing. And you see it. A lot of dudes, they come from the world. Or, hold on. I hear a bunch of noise. Yeah, you got a bunch of things going on where it's just tugging at you, okay? And you're not managing your time, for the scriptures, all right? You're not, like the scripture says, beating down the doors of the wise men that are amongst you, all right? Where are their doorsteps?
I'm holding it.
Con, you got that?
Con.
I got a quick one too.
Con. Go ahead.
Con, this Sirach chapter 6, verse 34. It says, "Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise."
I know what I'm about to do. Hold up. Let me put it on the screen. Hold on. I'm gonna hook it up to this software I got.
Oh yeah, the app with the con.
All right. Should let me hold up. I'm trying to zoom it in, so I don't know why it's formatted like this. It don't want to let me blow it up. I'm gonna try to do this though, drag it a certain way. It's all good. Where you was at, Sirach? What?
6 and 34.
Go ahead, I got you.
Okay. So Sirach 6 and 34 says, "Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot where the doors, let thy foot where the steps of his door."
Yeah, so you're constantly wearing out this guy doorsteps, asking questions. All right, you steady learning things from him. You steady inquiring about certain things, man. But if you're not doing that, then what are you doing? All right, because a lot of you younger brothers out there, you should be constantly, first, like I said, I'd say this. I'm gonna say this too. What's been taught to us is to go look up those things that you want to learn first, and then if you don't understand or you can't find certain things, then you go to the men, that are around you to ask, hey, what's up with this? What's up with that? I looked this up and I can't find this particular person, this particular you can't find it all the way. And then brothers will help out. But if you're not doing that, then what are you doing? Then what if you're not asking questions, you've been around for some time, 2, 3, 4 years, you're not asking no questions, something wrong. Because like I say, one thing about it, starting with the apostles, man, the teachings are there. The buffet, the different food, at this table, at this buffet is there. Jake is not eating, man. You got to eat to bring yourself up to a level, man. All right. Give me real quick, because I know the spirit is go how I want to go. I ain't tripping. It is what it is. But go to that Peters for me. I
had a quick one too.
All right, hold on real fast. Yeah, 1 Peter 2:2. This is what the scriptures call for, man. Well, let me move it. Somebody got it? 1 Peter 2:2.
I got it. Oh, you got it?
Yeah. This 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 2. It says, Salaki, I will start from 1. It says, as newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby.
Yeah, as newborn babes, which when you come into the truth, all right, you really get your mind to a point, you're starting over. You could be a grown man, so-called grown man in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, sometimes in your 60s, man. All right. And all the things that you learn from the world, you have to do what? Start over. You have to reset yourself in the mind. All right. And start over like a newborn babe. And a newborn babe or a young child, all right, is likened into a blank canvas. All right. And that's how we have to be when we approach this truth as men starting over. All right. I accept that I don't know everything. Hey, I accept that I don't know these scriptures, but I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to I'm willing to be taught. So, and it says desire the sincere milk. What's the sincere milk? The more or less the easier things of the scriptures, the precepts. From the precepts you learn. All right, you learn how to basically direct yourself in the scriptures, going from Deuteronomy to Joshua, from Joshua to James to Revelations. All right, then from there you learn the etymology of words. All right, then from there you learn full breakdowns. Then from there, when you have time, you learn what? You learn you learn history, man. All in all, you start off with the milk. A baby doesn't go from straight out the womb eating steak. it has to be what? Nourished up. It has to get the milk from the milk, soft foods from soft foods, and start to eat solids a little bit. But you have, we all came through this process. You can't jump the process, man. All right. Are you gonna vomit it all up? It says that ye may grow thereby. The point is growing. You gotta be growing, man. And somebody give me that word grow. I think it goes into which we know it's a simple word, but I think it has something in it about increasing.
Okay, I got you.
But go ahead, Raya. Why are you getting that?
I got you.
Con, this was just you want Kaya to go first?
You got it or what?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, it says like you say, straight to the point, to cause the growth or augment, to increase. It got something to right here. Augment is just increase, to become greater. And this one say of inward Christian growth, but we know who the Christians are the believers. All right, so you move that of inward spiritual growth, basically, man. All right, it says to enlarge, to grow.
Yeah,
you
so
got
what? You're growing in the mind,
Mhm.
right? With the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High, first and foremost. Then from there, as your time in the truth and your testimonies and your faith increase, you grow in your spirit, man. All right, you grow amongst the body. You all right? You start out, and like I say, I've been having time to be blessed with these brothers. Well, like I said, I didn't see these brothers come in straight off the street, walking by the camp. All right. Brothers came in different ways, rolled up to the camp, introduced themselves. And like I say, these brothers have over the years, y'all brothers can tell them y'all testimony, how y'all went from year one to year now, but you go back and look at the videos of when you first came out, you look like a totally different person. You don't even act the same. Your learning is increased. You shouldn't be stagnant. But I kind of like I'm preaching the same thing, but it had to drive home the point. But y'all brothers can,
I got
go ahead.
I wanted to back up everything y'all just said, because when you first come into this truth, you can't be chewing on wagyu steak, so to speak. You gotta drink that milk and let it nourish you, and eventually build up your palate to be able to taste these different meats or knowledges in this truth, and become skillful with it. But this is Sirach 21. I'm gonna start at 15, but then I'm gonna jump to 13. If a skillful man hear a wise word, he will commend it and add unto it. Hearing the wise words of the men that you're being taught under, wearing out their doorsteps, and just taking it, pacing yourself so you don't burn yourself out. You hear something, you commend it, you add unto it, and as you keep adding more and more things and gaining more and more knowledge, I'm gonna jump up to verse 13. This is what happens. It starts off as a little stream, of these living waters, but then it eventually, abounds. The knowledge of a wise man shall abound like a flood, and his counsel is a pure fountain of life. But it begins with the skillful man hearing a wise word and commending it and adding unto it, and continually growing. And as I said, the knowledge of a wise man shall abound like a flood. And eventually, as the brother was saying, you go back and look at yourself from year one to year wherever you're at now, and you can see that these living waters have grown more and more, bountiful and abounding like a flood. Your knowledge increasing and your wisdom.
Yeah, even in your conduct, man, you're not after so long in this thing. All right, old conversations don't intrigue you as they used to from the world. All right, certain foods that you will eat, which we know, there's things that we can't eat and there are things we can't eat. But all in all, the things you used to indulge in, you're not, they don't they don't tickle your fancy, man. You know, as they say in the world. All right.
You look
Certain
down
women,
on it.
yeah, you look down on certain women the certain styles of women you like, you don't like them anymore. All right. The places that you used to hang out, you don't hang out there anymore. All right. Your overall look should change. You shouldn't look like the boys on the block, man. You know, at the while, those people discuss you. You know.
Hey, if I could
Go ahead.
just to back up what you were saying about, you know, particular women you may have dealt with in the past. You know, a chick I dealt with in the truth a couple of years ago. After we had separated, I ran into her again maybe about 2 years later, and as I was talking to her, she was still at where she was at when I knew her mentally, but I increased. Like I was thinking to myself, man, I don't know how I dealt with you as long as I dealt with you for back then.
Yeah, and at the while, you know, through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai, you find out, hey man, I didn't dodge the bullet. You
Con.
know, like the scripture says, man, a wicked woman is given over to a wicked man. You know, so hey, in some cases we find out the hard way, man. You know, well we find out through the Yahweh Shem Shai that we, you know, in certain cases with certain people we dodged the bullet. We know, but like I say, those people don't intrigue you. Those spots don't intrigue you anymore, man. All right, you are changed. You're an actual changed man, and you separate yourself. Because that's another thing. You got to find the art of separating. All right, the science of separating yourself from the world, man. And it is a science. All right, but all right, when in the science of that, you have to be growing too. It's a science in growing. All right. But anybody want to say anything? Anybody want to bring anything out if I keep going?
I just wanted to say, Apostle Paul said, all things are lawful, but all things are not expedient. One thing about growing, because you had mentioned that there's certain things we can eat and can't eat, but it's not just about the dietary law. There are things that are lawful to eat, but you still, as you grow in the truth, you start to gain temperance and wisdom, and you start to look at certain things that, okay, this is lawful, but it's not expedient for me to be doing this. And it's not just food, it's anything. You start to really see what's good for your spirit. Like it says in Sirach, what's good for your soul. It takes time to do that.
Yep.
You mind if I pull
it? Yeah, like for instance, eating ice cream is lawful, all right? But do you need to eat it every day? Do you need to eat it every hour of the day? No, because after a while, what happens? You'll get sick, you'll get fat, you know. It wouldn't just be good for your health, man.
Drinking.
Right? Yeah, drinking too. The alcohol, man. Which that's a whole nother topic lesson in itself. All right. You don't need to be just alcohol is good, but you don't need to be wined out all goddamn day, man. You wake up in the morning, you hitting the bottle. You go in afternoon, you hitting the bottle, even before you go to sleep. This is my breakfast. Tripping. You know? This is my breakfast. Hey, Jay, tripping, man. You know? Go ahead,
You mind if I pull one real quick? It was
just a quote that a brother put in there that's going to what y'all saying that you can put that one. Put what you got, Roddy. I'm trying to find it in the chat. But a brother said, the way that you know you growing is to where looking back don't pique your interest anymore. Like, damn, brother, I'm looking for it right now, brother. But there was what Yak and I had mentioned something. I'm going to it in the chat. I forget what brother put it in. He says, I'm gonna find it because I won't quote it. But it says, this is how you know you're growing to what's behind you. Like, you don't look back no more. Don't pique your interest anymore, man. And I got a precept behind you too, right? You can bring it out when you got it, bro.
This kind of backs up what you were saying earlier about, we must decrease as Yahweh Shai increases. The more we grow in the spirit, the more we realize that our whole purpose is to, fulfill the will of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And that comes with separating ourselves from, the old man and the things in the world that, were our vices or our pleasures, which another way you're growing in the spirit is, back up what you were saying. when the things you looked at in the past, no longer pique your interest, and you have no need to look back at it. You're solely focused on looking forward, and your whole desire is, your first instinct, your first thought is, what would Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai want me to be doing? But this is Proverbs 18 verse 1. Through desire, you either have desire of the flesh in this world, or you have desire in the spirit, in the spiritual things. Through desire, a man, having separated himself, seeketh and intermeddleth with all wisdom. So if you have the desire to grow, desire to build yourself in this truth and fulfill the will of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, you're going to separate yourself from the things that you know are clearly pulling at your spirit, and intermeddle it yourself with the wisdom of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai.
I got you something too, bro.
Yeah, because I'm gonna say this, man. Hell, I'm gonna say it. You got to be ultimately possessed with this word, man. Live, breathe, sleep. There's been times I've been sleeping and thinking about scriptures in the middle of me sleeping or dreaming. You gotta be ultimately possessed with this word, man. All right, you have to have the we use these guys as what they say, metaphors or whatever. But the same way Michael Jordan was possessed, all right, with the game of basketball, Kobe Bryant, those type of niggas, you gotta have that same mentality, hunger, the ambition. All right, you gotta want to grow, man. And some guys just don't want to grow. And like I said, there's a place for you too. For dudes that don't want to grow, you gotta want to grow, man. You gotta want to increase. All right, you look at the same way you look at those guys, the MJs, the Kobe's. I'm about to say this other nigga, I don't like him, but I'm gonna say him, the LeBron James nigga. All right. You look at those guys, even the football niggas, man. The way you played the game and mimic your game after them. Well, hey, we have the same men, and it's true that you should mimic after. First and foremost, the elder, the elder of your camp or whoever. We also got the apostles and the bishops around Babylon too. And you gotta look at them and take a little bit of their game, but add it to yourself. Who you like I say, man, even Yahweh Shai, man. You got to be possessed with this, man. You gotta first, and you gotta love it. You gotta like how you hear Edomites. Oh, I love doing this. I love whatever. They got their own business. They may be into boating, fishing, whatever. They love that, man. It's the same way you gotta love this. You gotta have a love, a passion for this, man. You should be, and we didn't see guys, man. They're in that Warriors V spirit, dragon ass. They're the last guy to come and they just moping around. Hey man, you gotta love this thing, man. And you gotta say, and I'm gonna tell you another part of it. Even with the rebuke is a part of growth, man. All right. Rebuke is also part of growth. It's not to destroy you, it's not to hurt you, but it actually helps you grow because you see where you need to build yourself up in. I had that. Let me see.
I can say real quick.
Go ahead.
Part of husbandry, part of tending to a lawn or a garden is trimming. You got to trim certain things off. You can't just let a tree grow all wild. You got to prune certain things, and rebuke is how you prune, the Lord's olive tree. How you keep growing healthy.
Pick out the weeds, which if you don't pick out those. Oh,
no, I got it with the reeds. Go ahead. You got.
I'm just gonna say, I've done some work in gardens with vegetables and fruits before, and if you let those weeds grow, they choke out that seed. Going back to that parable, the seed that sprung up, but what? The weeds and the thorns and the briars, the cares and the affairs of this life choked it out. You didn't prune those hedges or rip out those weeds or roots. So what? It just overgrew and just consumed you.
Yeah, you gotta be checking yourself. You know, out of everybody around you, you know that you're not growing, man. You know that you're not studying. You know that you giving not your all, man. All right. And before somebody get on, you need to get on yourself. All right. You can't just be going with the motion. This is not a going with the motion type of thing, man. Like I said in the last video the other day, there's a one thing I say about it. All these other camps, they on that come as you are. Nobody, you watch these guys, man. They march down the street. Nobody's growing. They're just a bunch of bodies, a bunch of heads. Our apostles don't call for that. They call for men. They call for leaders, man. They call for men to grow, men to hold their own when it comes to this truth in these scriptures, man. You can't ask for nothing better. There's a standard. There's a requirement. All right. There's a and what it is. I'm gonna tip my tongue. I said requirement. But there's
reputation.
No, there's you're basically accounted for, man. Every man.
It's an obligation.
Yeah, it's an obligation,
Duty.
It's a duty.
Let me get that too.
Yeah, but to add to what the elder was saying, the brother Raya too, being those we're plants that's planted by water, man. And water is the main ingredient for something to grow. Everything has water in it. Even our brains, like Amawad always bring up 90% of water, but that water that's in them, that's the waves of wisdom. All right. And where there's a lifeline, a lot of water, there's a lot of life. All right. And that's part of the spirit. All right. And they got this quote that the brother Wiley be putting in there. It says, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it is not the same river, and he is not the same man." So as we in the truth, we always been in these floods of waters, all right, and we not the same men, all right. Though we not stepping in the same river twice, we're in the same river, man, all right. So it's either we're becoming a greater man, or we're drowning by those floods, man. All right, we're allowing those floods of waters those living waters to increase within us. But this is Job 8. What you had something, Yakana?
Nah.
Okay, Khan. It's Job 8. And the point is in 11, but I'll read up just a little bit. I'm gonna get 2 up here, and then I'm gonna jump to 11. Job 8 and 5. This goes what you were saying too, Ryan. It says, "If thou would unto Lord be times," right? Which we know what be times is early, or the times you have to make your supplications to the Most High, and make thy supplication to the Almighty. "If thou wert pure and upright, surely now he would awake for thee, and make the habitation of thy righteousness prosperous." Because Amawad, if you could get in it for 1 Corinthians 3, when it says, "I have planted, Apollos have watered."
I'm holding
But
it.
yes, brother. Yes. Okay, stay right there. It says, "If thou wert pure and upright in the spirit, surely now he would awake for thee." And awaken for you is to put this living waters, this life, man, this soul within you, and make the habitation of thy righteousness prosperous. All right, to be prosperous is the increase.
Where you at?
That's why I said Job 8 and 6. All right. And that go hard in the NLT too, if you could get it, Zaquan. Verse 7 says, "Though thy beginning was small, yet thy latter end shall greatly increase." So when we first got into this thing, like the elder was saying, if the spirit is working with you, you're going to grow. All right. You ain't going to be able to keep back yourself, because the Lord going to be increasing you through the spirit. And a lot of times they want to increase themselves. All right. They want to, go about it. You got to trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai once you have separated yourself in a melody with wisdom. All right. Verse 11. It says, "Can a rush grow without mire? Can a flag grow without water?" So you got to be showered in water first by pastors according to the Lord's heart and men of the Lord. And you got to trust men have the spirit of the Lord, because you're going to know what's the spirit of the Lord. It's the same spirit. One faith, one ministry, one baptism, man. All right. So you're going to know this word. All right. The word of Yahweh Shai. We hear his voice and we follow it, man. All right. You got it, Amawad.
You know, I was holding this because that word increase that I'm about to read is the same word as grow in 1 Peter 2:2. So grow, increase is all the same. It's the same exact word. But this 1 Corinthians 3:6, it says, I planted, Apollos watered, but the Most High gave the increase. And the increase is to grow.
Yep.
Right? And the Most High, he's not gonna the scripture tells you that wisdom is not going to enter a malicious soul. In order for you to grow, you got to put off the old man. You got to put off wickedness, even wicked thoughts. You got to put off loving this world, because the scripture says you're at enmity with the Father when you love this world. So if you come into the truth, you're trying to learn all these parables and breakdowns. You're trying to jump over the sincere milk. You want to be a nigga with knowledge. You want to be a deep nigga. All right. The Most High is not dealing with niggas. He's dealing with prophets and priests. So for the Most High to give you increase, you have to put off all of that nonsense of the world. It says, I planted, Apostle, which the I is talking about Apostle Paul. I planted, Apollos watered, but the Most High gave the increase. So then neither is he that planted anything, neither he that watereth, but the Most High giveth the increase. You got it up.
So as those trees planted by water, as it stands Psalms, you know, we full of sap, we full of the things that actually cause us to increase. We not of the things that cause us to die off. All right. You know, that's things that trees, like you said, the weeds, the different things, those are pulled up, they're rooted out. Because we're rooted in, there has to be a rooting out. All right. The same as when once we get the kingdom of heaven, there have to be a king go down. All right. So it's the same thing we're building up in the Lord, man. And it's a process. All right. Some men is growing we all are growing at the speed of the Lord. So what that is, all right, it'll still reflect though if there's growth. One thing about growth is it can't go unrecognized. In other words, if a man was short and then he grew more, you're gonna automatically say, hey, you got a little height on you. It's gonna be automatic because it's identifiable. All right, that's growing. It's also a identifiable thing about how you either you're what we always say, there's regression. All right, Jake can regress. You never stay the same. You either increasing or you're regressing. You got to do, bro.
Hey, could go into what you're saying, Colossians 2:19.
Okay. Colossians 2. I got you. It says, and not holding the head, from which all the body by joints and bands having nourishment ministered and knitted together, increasing with the increase of our power. Being connected to Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, which he's the head of the body. So the head where the spirit is at, if your spirit is intertwined with Yahweh Shai, all right, and he's holding the body of the building together, it's gonna automatically grow. All right, because his spirit has been increased of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. He's the first spirit, the first embodiment of the Lord. So wisdom have to build you. All right, wisdom building it out, his house, and hewing out his seven pillars, man. All right, the complete man that's in his body. So growing is an obligation in the truth. And if you're not, then that can be a tall tale. Maybe the Lord ain't increasing you with the word.
Yeah, maybe
but you got it, bro.
Maybe this ain't for you, man. All right. If you stay on the same level at the same level you've been on for umpteen years or however long, man. All right, you gotta seek knowledge, man. You have to. One thing about this, you can't say I'm not gonna read. I'm not gonna write. All right, them two things, two of the most things you need in this truth, man. All right, And if you, like I said, you got to be in that mindset of growing, man. You know, even our apostles, you know, those men are constantly growing. They're constantly learning. Because I listened. It was one night I was up and it had a dude talking about it was like one of those. No, I know what it was. It was over social media. It was that dude Machiavelli, and he was talking about how a king or a priestly type of man always, you never stop learning, man. You never stop increasing the knowledge. All right, you always learning more and more and more.
Like I said y'all brother stuff, man. Obviously, it's right on time with what you're saying. Like, you know, Jake is especially getting out there, but to evolve, all right, others what they use it to unfold, to open out, to expand, all right, to produce. So there's a production standard that all men are measured by, man. All right. And if you want to know this thing, like you said, you got to apply yourself. It says if thou shall apply thyself, then thou shall be taught. All right. But that's going to be a level of application. There's going to be some work you got to put in. And that's when we went into me, you and Raya about men not applying themselves, then they're not in the spirit of developing. Some men don't want to change. They want to just get the truth and still be able to do whatever they was doing before they had the truth. With the truth, force your hand, man. Change, force your hand. Because first of all, nobody could get ready for change. You just have to adapt and adjust to it. And that's why people are not familiar with it, because it's a foreign territory that people are not comfortable with because they don't know what to expect. You know? Got it, bro.
Some men learn the scriptures just for views, likes, and subscribers. Some men learn the truth just to cut their cousin at the house. All right, or to be controversial.
Yeah.
All right.
Or to try to get the nigga.
What'd you say?
So to try to get their wife to submit.
Oh man.
See, it says in Timothy.
Impress their friends and cousins.
Yeah.
You know, to impress them.
Or their co-workers.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I did this true. We blood relatives. You got it, bro.
Yeah, let me get that scripture too. Hold up.
Yep. So to evolve is to make clear too. And to make clear is to be able to see the things you're growing at. You got to be able to see your growth, like the elder said too. Man, growth is identifiable, man. It's you cannot with the eyes not see something, man. You know, if you're looking at it, technically. So it says from books too, to roll forward, unfold, especially of books, which the Bible is a collection of books. So when you start to evolve, you can start to open out. All right, it says especially of books, and not these books. You know, the fifth rib of Eve and all that, man. You know, come on, man. All right, my rib Eve, the fifth volume. Like, come on, man. We're talking about the books the Lord have given it to us, but y'all got it, bro.
I got this one real fast. This is 1 Corinthians 8:1. It says, "Now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edified." All right, and that's what happens over time. You know, guys use this truth for all the wrong reasons, man. All right, and they use the scriptures to be puffed up. All right, in knowledge. All right, which you know, you got to be sincere in this truth. You got to be sincerely trying to grow too, man. All right, everything around us, you know, that deal with the Most High it deals with life. It deals with growth. All right, a plant purpose or seed purpose to be planted in the ground is to what? It's to grow, man. Same thing with us. We're likened unto plants. We're likened unto trees. A tree is constantly growing, even though you can't see the growth. You can't see that this branch is constantly stretching itself out and moving. You know, same thing with us. You got to be, like I said, if you're not, you got to be growing in the scriptures. You got to be growing as a man. All right, you got to just ultimately, all right, be in the mindset of growing with responsibility. All right, with your business, which you know, even your home, man. All right, even the things around you. Right, because like I always tell these brothers, you should see, you can ultimately see the mindset of a man based on how he upkeep things around him, including himself. All right, when you see everything all scrambled all over everywhere, things all messed up, jacked up, you know, you see that's what's going on in that man's head, man. You know. Go ahead, Doc. If y'all got anything, I think I got. Let me see. Let me look at it.
I'm still holding that Sirach.
Okay, go ahead. Let me go back to
it. Chapter 38, verse 22. It's like in verse 24. It says, "The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that hath little business shall become wise."
You said Sirach what?
38 and 24.
Oh, 24 kind. Yeah, you ready? You can go into. I'm trying to get this other scripture.
It's Sirach 38 and 24. It says, "The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure." You might have to mute out or turn it down. It's kind of like echoing.
That should be Ryan, huh?
Yeah, that's his phone.
It's Sirach 38 and 24. It says, "The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that have little business shall become wise." So this really, you know, in a nutshell, the scripture is talking about time management and your priorities. What are you putting first? Do you have time to start a bunch of businesses, open an LLC, try to sell this, sell that? You're not going to be able to grow in the spirit. It's extremely time consuming to start a business in 2026. Especially if you're not using automated, you know, AI thing, you're trying to do everything by hand. You're trying to start everything yourself. That's when are you studying? When are you reading? When are you going into words? Like, how are you going to grow in the spirit? It says, "How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow and glorieth in the goad that driveth the oxen and is occupied in their labors and whose talk is of bullocks?" So if you're always talking about things in the world, making money, flipping this crypto scheme and doing this and that, how you gonna have time to study, man? Jake being the truth, so-calling the truth for 10 years, can't break down basic precepts, don't know what's going on. You ain't grown 1 month in 10 years because your mind is preoccupied with all of the things of the world.
Yeah, man. You gotta begin to question yourself. You gotta begin to question if the spirit is even on you, man. All right. You just a fan of the truth. All right. I'm about to use another term they're using in Houston, man. But go ahead.
I got one for you.
Okay, what you got?
Khan. Hey, this is a parable because, you know, what is Apostle Tahar deemed this year to be? The year of the reprobates, the apostates, the sellouts. And, you know, we can see that the Lord is making moves, guys that, you know, don't want to grow. You know, we're coming up on the Pesach, the Passover, if we even make it with the way things are going. But, you know, the Lord is making moves, and we're coming into house cleaning season where if you don't want to grow, the Lord's going to cast you out. And it's as simple as that. But this is Luke chapter 13. I'm going to read verses 6 to 9. "And he spake also this parable. A certain man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard. And he came and sought fruit thereon and found none." And, you know, that certain man, you know, is speaking of the Lord. And that fig tree is speaking of what? You know, Jake's, you know, brothers, you know, that are in the truth or know of the truth. "And he came and sought fruit thereon and found none." A man that's not growing. "Then said he unto the dresser of his vineyard," the dresser being Yahushai, "Behold, these 3 years I come seeking fruit on this fig tree and find none. cut it down? Why cumbereth it the ground? Why are you being, dead weight around sincere brothers out here? You got spirits on you. You got a laziness demon. You got a niggardly demon on you that could easily, hop onto other brothers. Verse 8. Or, brothers are spending resources on you while you're just sitting on your ass. Verse 8. And he answereth and said unto him, Lord, let it alone this year also, till I shall dig it about and dung it. Yahushua making an intercession. Look, give him a little more time. Let's see what he's gonna do. Brothers rebuke him. Put him into situations to see, if he's gonna sink or swim, if he's gonna still stay stagnant, or if he's gonna let those waters flow. Verse 9. And if it bear fruit, well, hey, the brothers gotten out of the situations they've been dealing with and have grown, and keep on growing. And if not, then after that thou shalt cut it down. The Lord take that candle from you, take the spirit from you, cut the fig tree down and cast you out, giving you back to the world and those vices that you thought was more important than the truth and salvation.
Yeah, man. And it's a scary thing, man. You see, the Lord has put many examples out there of guys in past and what happened to them. You see, sometimes you'll drive by, you'll hit a corner, and you driving through town, you'll see a guy that was once in the faith, man, and you see him, you can clearly see he's not the same. All right, and the Lord always show example, But Jake, you can see them spirits jumping on him, clowning, damn demon tap dancing on his head, man. All right, you looking like one of those Mexicans on Reno 911.
Dirty Sanchez.
Yeah, Dirty Sanchez, man. Looking crazy as hell, man. Tripping. Like, whoa, I just seen such and such, or the guy, sometimes the guy roll up on you. Hey, he don't know how to do the salute no more. You may say the Lord's name wrong. Hey, ain't your name? Yeah, what's up, man? Oh, he don't even look the same, but hey, that's a scary sight. You know what I'm saying? To be bugged out in the world in these times, all right? When all hell's finna break loose, man. All right? The dollar's finna crash. The mark of the beast is finna be implemented. All right? Missiles, all right? Literal missiles are finna fly, man. And Jake out here playing. All right? Jake is what's that? Jake connection to the truth, or their Wi-Fi to the truth is out of order, man. Disconnected. That's a scary sight, man. To not be connected to the power, to the body. Right? Jake got this cold box, man. Go ahead.
Brother. You got it.
Go ahead.
No, I'd say Jake spiritually buffering.
Yeah,
on the Wi-Fi production.
Yeah, that's scary, man. That's scary as hell. Ultimately, like I said, you should be plugged into the spirit. All right, growing. You should be locked in on what it is, news articles, not just the articles, but actually reading, finding out what's going on this world stage. All right. Well, like I said, a topic come up. You and the elder, you and the bishop, the officer of the camp, officer, y'all can run it. Hey man, what happened? You know what's going on today? Oh, Jake don't know what's happening, man. Same way, like I said, the same way things. Hey man, we in time. Hey, the Lord looking for those same men. And you might have to bring it out. The same men that went down to the well or to the sea, and they're looking for. They had the men that didn't pay attention. And that just, you know, they full focus was just to get a drink of water. But the Lord was looking for those men that when they lap at the water, they was actually paying attention to what's going on. Because we at war, man. We in some more dangerous spiritual times, man. And you know, it's a scary sight not to be locked in. It's a scary sight to all this time that passed. You're not increasing.
I got that if you want it. Judges.
Yeah, bring it up.
Now, this is the book of Judges, chapter 7, verse 2. It says, "And Yahweh said unto Gideon, the people that are with thee are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel vaunt themselves against me, saying, mine own hand have saved me." So again, the Lord is not all about power and numbers. All right. He doesn't want us to glory in how many Israelites there are, because we're as the sand of the sea.
Which I'm gonna say, beautiful point, which many other camps out here, they glory in numbers. They're worrying about how big the camp can look. All right, for the camera, for the views, the subscribers, likes. Right, that's all what is color. Right, which the Lord don't care about all that, man. You know, the Lord deals outside of what man wants, man. Because man looking for views, likes, and subscribers to be seen. All right, but let's see. Go ahead.
Verse 3, it says, "Now therefore go to proclaim in the ears of the people, saying, whosoever is fearful and afraid, let him return and depart early from Mount Gilead. And there returned of the people 20 and 2,000, and there remained 10,000. So it went from 22,000 to 10,000. Let's keep going. It says, "And Yahweh said unto Gideon, the people are yet too many. Bring them down into the water, and I will try them for thee there. And it shall be that of whom I say unto thee, this shall go with thee, the same shall go with thee. And of whomsoever I say unto thee, this shall not go with thee, the same shall not go." So he brought down the people unto the water, and Yahweh said unto Gideon, every one that lappeth up the water with his tongue, as a dog lappeth, him shalt thou set by himself. Likewise, every one that bowed down upon his knees to drink. And the number of them that lapped, putting their hand to their mouth, were 300 men. But all the rest of the people bowed down upon their knees to drink water. So you had men that were drinking the water, but they were still circumspect. They were looking and they would dip their hand down and drink. And those were the men that the Lord was dealing with, the men that were circumspect. Then you had Jake that just dove head first. They were thirsty, you know, so thirsty they're not even watching their surroundings.
Yeah, man. And the Lord, like they said in that movie, I believe it was The Godfather, maybe Casino. I mean, you brothers can correct me. It said women and children can be
That's Godfather.
It's Godfather. Women and children can be careless, but men, we not in the business of being careless, man. You gotta be on point at all times. You gotta be, and that's what the Lord looking for, man. A man that has the drive and the willpower to grow, drive and the willpower to be circumspect, man, to be on point. You know, and hey, man, we not. It just ain't that time for that airhead spirit, you know.
About the same, man. You finished?
Con.
You see, Con.
This Luke 9 and 61 and 62. And I had got that quote, but it says, you know you're on the right track when you become uninterested in looking back. And this is gonna go right into it. It says someone in the NLT, I mean in the GNT, Luke 9 and 61 and 62. It says someone else said, I will follow you, sir, but first let me go and say goodbye to my family. And like you said, man, when you have come into the Lord, you know, you have reunited with your true spiritual family. All right, that's the spirit, the brothers that's in the same spirit as you. I wish I told, you know, who are my brothers and my sisters. First, you got to recognize what you're a part of. And a lot of A lot of times, I don't think what's consistent with growth is understanding what you're a part of, understanding what you're growing in. A lot of men don't really know. You gotta ask yourself, do men know what they kind of part of or they signed up for? It didn't count the cost. It says in 62, Yahweh shall say unto him, anyone who starts to plow and then keeps looking back is no use for the kingdom of our power, man.
Oh man, that's on time. Yeah, because you can't be in the spirit of looking back. We seen what happens to Lot's wife when she looked back, man. All right, wanting and desiring things back in the world. All right, what's back in the world? Nothing but death, destruction, chaos. All right, a bunch of scumbags, man. All right, you have to be looking forward. That's a scripture on that. Let me see.
Yeah,
I think I got it in Philippians.
Yeah, I believe that is it.
I've been holding that one. You want me to read it?
Yeah, you can bring it up.
This is Philippians 3:13. Brethren, I count myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before.
Yeah, well, because what's behind the world? All right, the old you. All right, you have to be in the spirit of moving forward. All right, reaching, like I said, reaching forward into those things which are before. All right, and ultimately what's before us, the kingdom of heaven. All right, that's a trip. That's a place you don't want to miss, man. All right, being entangled with the world. All right, you have to. The Lord calls us to become, present ourselves as men as a living sacrifice and putting off the world. All right, sacrificing our time. All right, sometimes our money. Sometimes, all right, this ultimately sacrificing ourselves as a whole, man. All right, the things I would do, I might go. You might go to the b-ball game with your brother or your son, but hey, camp going on. I'm going to camp, man. Those things we'll catch up on those things some other time, And like I said, you got certain men you can see they're not willing to meet those demands of, and then like I said, this work is easy. It's not a lot. It don't call for a lot. All right. This particular body of work that we do is not hard. We've out there for a little bit of no time. All right, compared to the time we put into other things. All right, but you got certain men, their affairs call for them to be, doing whatever in the world. All right, and that's like I say, every time the Passat come around, before, after, and during, things tighten up. All right, and that's what's just going on. Go ahead.
Verse 14. I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of the Most High in Yahushua HaMashiach.
Yeah, and this is it, man. This is the high calling. How about Shah? This is the greatest calling if there ever was any, man. This right here, this truth. All right, being a part of the body, being a part of this truth. All right, this is it. All right, you can put this. This is above any other profession in the world. Right, like I said before on the block, this is the hardest, the world most dirtiest job, man. All right. And it seems a certain way now, but we finna benefit off it. Why I missed that? All right.
One more verse.
Come on.
Let us therefore, as many as be perfect, be thus minded, striving for that perfection. And if anything ye be otherwise minded, if you're truly striving for the perfection, but you've got some things that you need to work on, the Most High shall reveal even this unto you. Things that you're lacking at, things that you need to work on so that you can correct it. But if you're not in the mind of, striving for perfection, you're just going to be imperfect, and those things are going to drown you out. And like that fig tree, you're just going to get cut off and, cast into the fire ultimately.
Hey, Kaya, get 1 Corinthians 9:25. The back up the what he's saying. And Kaya, you can get that, not Kaya, but I'm gonna get that word strive and mastery. I wonder what the NLT say now. Let me see. 1 Corinthians.
You ready for it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
1 Corinthians 9:25. It says, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible.
Yeah, I read it in NLT. It's the NLT, 1 Corinthians 9:25, and the NLT says all athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away, but we do it for an eternal prize. All right. And the point is, the word strive, man. All right. And the word mastery.
You want that word?
Yeah.
Strive for the masteries is Strong's G75. Aganaziomai. It says to enter a contest, to contend with adversaries, to fight, metaphorically, to contend, struggle with difficulties and dangers, to endeavor with strenuous zeal, to strive to obtain something.
Do you have in how you said in strenuous zeal to grow? Do you have a will to fight? This is a fight, man. We're contending for the scripture says, contend for the word. We're contending for the word, man. It's a spiritual battle, a spiritual fight that we're in. Are you in the right mindset to fight, man? Or are you just giving up? Your fate has become small. Or you, like I say, this is a battle though, man. Go ahead.
I have one.
Get the word mastery.
This is that was all together. It was strive for the mastery. That was all together. But yeah, this Apostle Peter on how to giving you the blueprint on how to grow in the spirit. This is 2 Peter 1, verse 5. I'm gonna read on down to 8, but I'm gonna get 8 in the NLT. But this 2 Peter 1, verse 5 in the KJV, it says, and beside this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, which virtue is moral excellency, is holiness, purity. All right. Add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance, which temperance goes into self-control, discipline. All right. And to temperance patience, and to patience godliness, and to godliness brotherly kindness, to brotherly kindness charity. All right, which is agape. But it says, this is in the NLT, verse 8. It says, the more you grow like this, the more productive and useful you will be in your knowledge of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach. So if you start with diligence, you seriously earnestly trying to get the truth, you add to that virtue, right? You put off the old man, you start, being more disciplined. You add to that knowledge, you start looking things up, you start studying more. You add to knowledge temperance, all right, which is discipline, self-control, then patience, godliness, brotherly kindness, being charitable, you around the body. If you do these things, you're going to grow in the truth. It's impossible to not do those things. It's impossible to do those things and not grow. That's plain.
Yeah, that's plain, brother. Anyone of you brothers got anything else? I'm going to get out of here. You got something, Raya?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Yeah, man. So with that, we hope this lesson was edifying and to the point. We're gonna finish off right here by giving infinite honors, praise to Yahweh, by Shem. Once again, double honors to our elders, the elders apostles of Great Millstone, which is GMS. Peace, blessings, and salutations again out there to the hopeful elect and to the sincere. Shalom. Till next time.
Shalom.